Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back. Happy Wednesday morning to you. Hope your day is starting off just really great. Enjoying a cup of Javalia coffee here. Love this stuff. And appreciate you being with me. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma, and this is what I call my morning musings. We're currently investigating the doctrine of the Messianic Temple. And by the way, I have to say again how much I appreciate the private messages, the emails to me expressing appreciation for my morning musings. Listen, do me a favor, spread the news, okay? Tell everyone about these morning musings. Let's expand the audience even more. Just a couple of days ago, as a direct result of the YouTube and Facebook viewership, I corresponded with people from 5 separate countries in just one morning. From Zimbabwe, from Kenya, from Afghanistan, Pakistan, and from India. I mean, that's just in one morning. It's just absolutely incredible. And every one of the individuals that I corresponded with expressed appreciation for how the YouTube videos have changed their lives. And give them such a deeper appreciation for the Lord and for His Word, for His faithfulness, for Jesus Christ, and that's so humbling, and it makes me so excited to be able to share these thoughts with you here on YouTube and Facebook. Well, again, we're talking about the Messianic Temple. I don't have to tell you that all you have to do is get on YouTube, look up Jerusalem Temple, Messianic Temple, etc., etc., and you'll just find hundreds and thousands of videos assuring us that we're right on the cusp of the building of the temple in Jerusalem. The end is near. I mean, everyone from Thomas Ice to Price to LaHaye to Jeffrey, on and on it goes. We have been given the assurance for years and years and years now that the time is at hand. It hasn't happened, and it's not going to happen. One of the foundational prophecies for the Messianic Temple is Ezekiel chapter 37. Now, Thomas Ice and Tim LaHaye said in their book, Charting the End Times, that Ezekiel 37 began to be fulfilled in 1948. No, it didn't. What's interesting is they talk about it began to be fulfilled in 1948, and yet then they turn around and they deny that the constituent elements of Ezekiel 37 were fulfilled. Well, how can you affirm that it began to be fulfilled and then say it wasn't fulfilled? Anyway, one of the really critical elements of the Messianic Temple is the promise found in Ezekiel 37:26. I will make a new or a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them. I will establish them and multiply them. Look, Yahweh said that in the days of the making of the new covenant, I don't have to tell you, I'm sure, this is the promise of the new covenant of Jeremiah 31:29 to 31. It is the promise of the covenant of Hosea chapter 2 and verse 18. I will make a covenant of peace with them. This would be in the day in which Yahweh remarried Israel after divorcing them. This is the new covenant of Isaiah 55, in which he said he would make a covenant of peace with them and give them the sure mercies of David, which, remember, Paul said in Acts chapter 13 had been fulfilled. So, this is really quite simple. This is really quite simple. In the days in which Yahweh would create, establish, construct the Messianic Temple are the days of the new covenant. And what do we find? Well, Jesus in Matthew chapter 26 and following, he took the cup and he gave it to them, and he said, take, drink, this is my blood of the new covenant. Not a new covenant, not one new covenant, the new covenant, which means it's the covenant that had been promised before. Where do we find the promise of the new covenant? Ezekiel 37. Hebrews chapter 8. The writer speaks and quotes verbatim from Jeremiah's promise of the new covenant. And he says that through Christ and his work, the new covenant was being established at that very time. Folks, if the new covenant has not been established, there is no forgiveness of sin, because God said, when I establish the new covenant, their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. No new covenant, no forgiveness. And yet it's horribly tragic that my dispensational friends, the leaders in the dispensational world, say the new covenant has not been established. If there is no new covenant, as promised in Ezekiel, as promised in Jeremiah, Isaiah, Hosea, there is no forgiveness of sin today. The Old Testament did not predict the making of two new covenants. It was one covenant in which, through which, and by which the forgiveness of sin would become a reality. So let me say again, if the new covenant has not been made, if the new covenant is not a reality, we have no forgiveness of sin today. But hey, if the new covenant has been established, if we have forgiveness in Christ, guess what? The Messianic Temple has been built, because covenant and temple go hand in hand. We'll develop that more on the flip side. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, order your copy of The Last Days Identified, because the new covenant was supposed to be established in the last days. Get the book, Last Days Identified. Go to my website, eschatology.org, bibleprophecy.com. Order the book. Mention that you saw the offer on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll refund your shipping and save you almost $5. And thanks again for joining me. See you on the flip side.